Right. Welcome back to another episode of the news. In today's news, in today's news, yeah, a U.S. soldier was arrested for uh doing some insider trading. I don't know. I guess it's not really insider trading because it wasn't a stock, was it? It was like a Kalshi thing, right? But anyway, this guy was part of the Maduro raid operation, uh, and somehow he put up like 30K in a bet or something and made 400K off of it. Uh, great. I love our country where people can just bet on the success of their own war crimes and then become, um, you know, rich off of that. But I guess other people are haters, like Anderson Cooper here. He's gonna hate on this guy for playing the rigged system. And that's why he's getting arrested, I guess, because he's just a grunt and he's not part of the bourgeoisie. So they're like, hey, you're not allowed to do insider trading. Only we're allowed to do insider trading. Police, arrest this man. You know? Anyway. Brought to you by Polymarket. Polymarket Studios. Oh, I don't do that, dig. Oh my god. My audio capture
He
was
allegedly
muted.
made a U.S. Special Forces soldier who was
Uh,
involved in the capture of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro has been arrested and is facing 5 criminal charges. Prosecutors allege that Master Sergeant, his name is Gannon Ken Van Dyke, bet on the operation and won $400,000 in profits. They claim he opened an account in late December on Polymarket, which is an online prediction market, placed about $32,000.
why is he getting arrested for placing bets on one of these prediction markets? Prediction. When you can clearly see that people working inside the Trump administration are doing this, or whoever is getting the insider knowledge about whatever Trump's next moves in Iran are clearly using these prediction markets and uh insider trading on the stock market too. Like that's how these big what do you call them, firms, these big Wall Street firms are operating, I assume, is, they're all operating under the same kind of market manipulation mode where they're like, okay, well, when Trump announces that the Strait will be open, they're just like, all right, time to buy. Send the market to its highest, regardless of whether it's true or not, just because it's, advantageous and they hold most of the cards in the stock market betting casino. So, they come out a winner either way because they're not going to get punished for doing anything like this insider trading that's, clearly happening. Like, look at these graphs. Look at this graph. Let's just do the Nasdaq. No, wait. Yes. Like, look at this. Okay, so like this was oh god. This was when the Iran war started around here. Keeps going down and down. Oh, and there's like maybe a glint, an ounce of hope, and then it craters. Ceasefire gets announced, and it hasn't come down since. Even though the ceasefire is totally fake, it's not happening. Israel's blowing up Lebanon. There's no actual negotiations happening. It's just Iran's got hands and they can control the Strait of Hormuz. And then Trump is just coping and lying about it. But anyway, that was a tangent.
Benefits of the new
Wrong tab.
Dollars on a long shot bet that Maduro would be out by January. He allegedly made 13 bets in the days before the capture. Now the case is raising questions about insider trading on prediction markets on the Iran war. A reporter asked President Trump about it.
Are you concerned that federal employees are betting on these prediction markets and potentially getting rich?
Well, I don't know about it, but was he betting that they would get him or they wouldn't get him?
It sounds like he was betting on his removal from office, that Maduro would be removed.
Well,
it sounds like he was involved in the operation.
That's like Pete Rose betting on his own team. I'll look into it, yeah.
There are also bets that are being placed as well on the Iran conflict, too, and there have been some trackings where people suspect that there's insider trading happening on these prediction markets around the war. Are you concerned?
Well, you know, the whole world.
PBS. Your fake news.
Unfortunately, has become somewhat of a casino.
Wow. Yeah, man. I wonder who made it that way. Certainly not people like you.
The president later adding, quote, "I don't like it conceptually, but it is what it is." Joined now by two combat veterans. Margaret Donovan is a former Army captain and a JAG officer. She's also a former federal prosecutor. Adam Kinzinger is a former Republican congressman and retired Air Force.
He's got his angry face on, Mr. Adam.
First Lieutenant Colonel. Margaret, what is your reaction to the arrest? How unprecedented and concerning is it? And the president's reaction to it? It is what it is. He doesn't like it, but the whole world is becoming a casino.
Well, look, I read the indictment and I think it's a really righteous case. This is particularly troubling conduct when we're at a moment where our military's credibility is in question, to say the least, in many of our operations. And so I think it's really important for the Department of Justice to bring cases like this and to show that we are willing to respond to corruption.
Only lower level corruption, though. The president can be a pedophile, rapist, billionaire who's doing cryptocurrency scams while in office, but who's doing cryptocurrency scams, like, I forget what other. He's also suing the government to just, like, forget what that scheme is, or the details of that scheme, but he's also suing the government. He's going to make like $1 billion off of it for like no reason, because nobody's going to stop him. Or something like that. Yeah, there's numerous scams and schemes and grifts this guy and his friends behind him are up to, but we got to go after this special forces guy.
Keep in mind that Maduro has his own criminal case in SDNY right now, and no doubt his attorneys are going to point to this and say, see how corrupt the arrest was? So I think it's really important that the DOJ pursues this. It's a strong.
Yeah, because the Maduro kidnapping, it wasn't an arrest because there's no real charges that the U.S. can bring against him. It was just a hostage taking to threaten the Venezuelan government into being more pliant.
strong indictment. It looks like their evidence is very reliable, probably from Polymarket itself and the soldier's Google account. And I suspect that this will be a pretty important case going forward in terms of how the DOJ can deal with these Polymarket bets.
Congressman, were you surprised? I mean, that someone, a special forces, an operator at that level and trusted with some of the biggest and most sensitive military plans would
He will dance again. Free Maduro.
allegedly do this?
I don't want to say I'm surprised because this is very tempting, right? If you know that this is going to happen and you're working every day to get by, it's people are tempted. They're humans, and but it's wrong. And so this is good, that obviously they're going after it, but this needs to be more than just one soldier. There really is some questionable stuff that's been happening, actually not just in the predictive markets, but especially in the stock markets, that seem to possibly be from people that are at least close to the decision making. So look, Polymarket and Kalshi have a real
Bro, it's coming from the decision makers, dude. What do you mean? Donald Trump is the president. Like, you think he doesn't know his friends are doing insider trading off of this? Of course he knows. That's why they're giving him money. That's why they gave him money on the campaign trail. That's why they gave him, that's why they still have his ear. The billionaires. That's why they were invited to the inauguration.
PR issue on their hand if they want to keep surviving, because I think people are starting to understand that this is a pretty bad situation. Kalshi, I think, went after a few people here recently. But look, I'm uncomfortable with the fact that you can bet on actual human decisions that the human himself or herself can actually make. If you're Pete Rose betting on baseball, you can't guarantee an outcome. But if you're like the senator,
if you're a player betting on baseball, you can guarantee your team will throw or something.
I remember one specifically said, will a U.S. senator visit Syria before June? Well, if you're a U.S. senator and you can go visit Syria, the temptation is you can bet on that, or maybe you have a cutaway, somebody that can bet, and you get a little side profit from it. It's a very dangerous thing.
Yeah, that's what's happening with Trump and all this insider trading happening off of the Iran situation. Of course.
Because it has the potential of starting to impact decisions based on profit and not based on what's necessarily right for the country.
Margaret, the prediction markets are kind of predicated on this notion that there is some insider knowledge, that somebody in there knows something, and whether it's in some investor who has just done.
Now they're going to spend the next fucking 5 minutes trying to justify these fucking betting markets that should be shut down. The owners should be arrested if we had a just society. There's no excuse for having these prediction markets. It's just one of the most socially corrupt, endeavors I've ever had the displeasure of witnessing. It's so disgusting. Anyway, is there more news around this guy? See what the business news has to say. Gannon Van Dyke. Damn, that's Gannon Ken Van Dyke. Dude, did he give himself the name Gannon? Like he's the Zelda villain? That'd be wild. I've never met someone named Gannon. Was involved in the planning and execution of Absolute Resolve. Do, do. 410. Yeah, I don't know how much of this Polymarket has enhanced market integrity rules, bro. Ugh, gross. I guess people really are just dumb enough to think that this like Polymarket shit is like it's like straight up it's just like a scam. It's like Polymarket and Kalshi are just like scam. Like I don't even know how you describe it at this point because it's so insane and ridiculous, and it's like people who don't understand that this whole operation is a scam, like from the get, like that Polymarket and Kalshi are basically criminal enterprises. Like people who don't get that are fucking rubes. I gave Leviticus Cornwall all my money, and he started Polymarket. I don't know. So he got the classified dossier about this mission. So I guess they were planning the kidnapping before Satan Yahoo even visited Trump on that New Year's Day party. Because how I thought it went was like, well, I guess they already had a framework set up when Netanyahu came to the Mar-a-Lago or wherever they were partying on New Year's. That was just them getting ready to do their imperial war push. It was a rallying session for the number one pirates on the planet. Any other details interesting in here? That same day. Okay, nothing we haven't covered. Anyway, yeah, what an insane story. Um, but I guess that's just every story in the news nowadays. I mean, you know, what? Wait, Janine Puro. Wait, she has a government job now, right? Like I forgot about that. Anyway, it's not related to the video. Ugh. Anyway, YouTubers, if you enjoyed that, I don't know, analysis, um, you know, uh, maybe I should explain why Polymarket is a criminal enterprise. I don't know. I feel like it already speaks for itself as to like how debased, like just creating a market where you can bet on literally anything is. It's like, yeah, maybe gambling should not be the modus operandi of anybody's hobbies. And now we're just like pushing gambling on to everybody for everything. Like you don't even need to be a sports fan and you can become you can just bet on the I don't know, movies or something. How does a movie end? Now all the movie fans are gonna have movie books, movie bookies, and they're gonna fucking do movie parlays about, oh, what if in Dune 3 this happens, and then in Marvel's Doomsday this happens? Then I get to lickety split on your nine hole or whatever. Then I get to lickety split on your what other movies come out this year? I don't know. I don't know if I been to the movie theater this year. Whatever. I can't do movie references anymore. Oh yeah. Then you get to undo my Michael Jackson movie prediction, where I predicted there wouldn't be any kid rape or whatever, any kiddie stuff in it, or something. Um. Anyway, yeah, that's it. We are so fucked. Why Gen Z and millennials might ask for your credit score on a date? Is that actually happening? Bruh, bruh, what the... Okay, anyway. YouTubers, like and subscribe. Please, give me views. Comment if you had anything to add. Or, if you disagree, please. Anyway, bye bye.